Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well, and welcome to day 79 of reading 101 essays that will change the way you think. As always, shout out to Brianna West for the text, and today's title is How to Raise a Generation of Kids Who Don't Have a Problem with Anxiety. Most people don't think they're obsessed with controlling their emotions because they aren't consciously thinking about their feelings. Instead, they are thinking about everything else that needs to be right, so they don't have to feel at all. They imagine their worst nightmares to life. They worry incessantly about how much money they have to make to be successful, how much food they must constrict to maintain their size, the minutiae of how other people respond to them so that they may behave in a way that makes them likable. They think about their social media presence, whether or not something is right for them, how nice their home appears to be. They use fear to police themselves into being good. They don't think of these things as emotional control because they are the physical or mental parts of our lives. Yet we don't control the physical things in our lives when we can't control our emotions. We control the physical things in our lives to control our emotions. We think that if we find a soulmate, we can't get heartbroken. If we're attractive, we'll be respected. If other people think of us fondly, we'll always think of ourselves that way too. As anyone who struggles with heightened or irrational emotions can tell you, the root of most anxiety and panic is a fear of experiencing anxiety and panic. We deny our feelings not by refusing to feel them, but by using other things to try to avoid them. When we are obsessed with trying to control outcomes and reduce risks and ensure that we do not experience anything bad, we are not living whole lives. We are fragmented ourselves, expressing only the parts we are momentarily comfortable with. We don't control the physical things in our lives when we can't control our emotions. We can't control physical things in our lives to control our emotions. We think that if we find a soulmate, we can't get heartbroken. If we're attractive, we'll be respected. If other people think of us fondly, we'll always think of ourselves that way too. The emotional dissociation begins in childhood as the product of being punished for bad feelings. Children do not know how to self-regulate their emotions. They don't understand them, and like the way they don't understand how their bodies work or what it means to have manners at the dinner table or treat others with respect, they must be taught. Yet, very often, they are not. Instead, kids are taught that acting out will get them punished, and so begins the cycle of suppression. They learn that their parents will love them more when they are good. They shut down the parts of themselves they fear are unacceptable. When they are responding to a lack of feeling loved, what they are wired to chase is their parents' love. If it is not being given naturally, they will try to manipulate how the parent sees them so it is created. Unfortunately, in this process, they disassociate from a crucial part of themselves. And this is how they evolve into panicked, judgmental, anxious adults who cannot function in relationships. This is how they learn that it's crucial to control everything around them. If they don't trigger a feeling, they don't have to deal with it. The way we raise adults who don't struggle with anxiety is by being adults who accept anxiety. We must be the voice of reason that they do not have yet. The voices they hear from us, especially in their most fearful and vulnerable moments, will become the voices in their head someday. The way we raise adults who don't struggle with anxiety is by being adults who are loving and kind and non-judgmental. Kids do not know what we tell them. They do what we do. If we want the world to change, we have to change ourselves. If we want to inspire them to cope with their feelings, we must learn to cope with our own. And right now, we have the very unique privilege of learning how, without the emotional intelligence to cope with anxiety. We have the opportunity to consciously grow to understand it. We have the potential to give our kids and their kids and the kids after that the gift of self-knowledge, but it can only come from giving it to ourselves first. Ain't that how it always goes? We have to understand that if we do one day have kids, if you have kids yourself, they will replicate what they see, because it's monkey see, monkey do, right? They won't do as you say, they will do as you do. But a lot of parents, their parenting style is do what I say, don't do what I do, right? And that's where we get it all wrong. A lot of the time, we keep thinking that our kids will be different than us, but our kids will turn out the exact way that we are. Our kids will mimic the exact things that we did. We don't accept them for their flaws and their sins. We don't accept them for their problems, their anxieties. Then they won't feel like those are valid, and that's why they're anxious people. They're anxious because they were never able to be anxious with you. You never accepted them when they were having problems. You never accepted the worst parts of them. So now when that happens, they get anxious. They don't like that part of themselves, and that's why they go into self-destructive behaviors. They become toxic, anxious adults. And if that is you, you're an anxious adult, you have to forgive your parents, because a lot of the time they think what they're doing is the right thing. Most parents will do what they think is best for their kids. And yeah, sometimes what they think is best is not letting them be anxious people, not letting them make mistakes or feel negative emotions because they think it's bad. They think it's a sign of weakness, because that's exactly how they were taught. And the way they were taught, they passed that down onto you. How their parents raised them, they are raising you. And if you're not the one who breaks the cycle, then you're going to continue that cycle with your own kids. So before you have kids, or if you have kids now, you have to look at how you parent them. You have to look at how your parents parented you, the good things that they parented you on, the things that they didn't do well with, and you change. You change and you adapt. That's how we don't raise anxious children. We accept them for who they are. We change the things that we would have done differently. The things that our parents did well, we implement that. The things that our parents didn't do well, we change that. We have to create an environment where they can foster, where they can grow in a healthy environment, an environment where they're able to make mistakes, where they're able to come to you in weakness, they're able to come to you in despair and not knowing what they want to do with their lives, having problems that you want to get upset at them for, but if you get upset at them, then they'll never come to you with their problems. They're going to bottle up their emotions. And that's how you create that gap, that abyss between you and your kids. So you have to do different. You can't do the exact same thing your parents did and expect you to have a different relationship with them. Most parents, all loving parents, want a relationship with their kids. And how you do that is you create those safe environments. Those environments where all you want to do is you want to scream, you want to yell, and you want to discipline them. You don't. Yes, it is good to show that level of respect, to discipline your kids to a certain extent. But when it goes over the top, when it becomes they're just afraid of you and it's not a respect for you, then you can never have a healthy relationship with your kids. So it starts with you. You have to recognize, am I an anxious person? And you have to forgive your parents if you are an anxious person, because they didn't create an environment where you could come to them with your mistakes, where you could come to them in anxiety and in stress. Forgive your parents, and then that's how you change yourself. Because all you're doing is you're blaming your parents. Yes, it wasn't your fault, but it is still right now your responsibility. It's your responsibility to change, and to change not just for you, but to change for your kids as well. So tomorrow's title is The Idiot's Guide to Emotional Intelligence: Why We Need Pain. So hope everyone enjoyed today's video. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 80.